What up, everybody? Sysadmin Sean here with the next video in the new super fast Proxmox series. We're going to look at the dashboard, and as you can see, it's right here. We are ready to log in for the first time, so let's go ahead and do that. Bingo. One of my shifts didn't take, so we're going to fix that right now. Here. Let's set our new password, because otherwise I will forget it. So we've logged in, and we start basically at this screen, and we can see our node, software-defined networking, things of that nature, and local storage. And of course, our local storage is not all of our disks, and we'll go through that real quick. But you can start here at your summary. This is showing the data center, but it's really just this host. Cluster information, Ceph information, options related to what you've configured. This is your email from address, things of that nature. Here's your storage that has been built by default in the OS drive area. So this is not using the rest of your disks at all yet. Here's where you do your backups, which is really cool. You don't need to install anything else to do backups in Proxmox. You can just do them. This is replication. You need at least 2 nodes to replicate. Basically, all it's going to do is move your VMs around. So this is kind of a business continuity DR situation. It'll replicate your VMs, and if you lose a node, those VMs will spin, and hopefully it'll be a nice clean replication and it'll come up looking good. Permissions and logon info. Pretty standard stuff. HA, very cool, high availability. If you have clustering configured properly, you can obviously let your VMs fail over. That's a big deal. This also allows fencing and groups, so that, let's say you're running domain controllers and you don't want all your domain controllers on the same host, it will be aware of that and say, okay, you two here, you two here. If there's an HA event, I can't really fail you over. You'll just flip, or you can set up situations where don't balance them unless it's a failover, that kind of stuff. Acme, this is for doing certificates and things of that nature. Then you have your firewall here, which is great. Your metric server, which you can install Influx or Graphite and start collecting a lot of good metrics. Probably just going to grab a container, do that stuff. Resource mappings, maybe you have USB devices or PCI devices you want to map and do pass-through, GPUs, stuff of that nature. That's where you do it. And then, of course, support, which we don't have a support contract, so we can't do anything there. First thing you want to do when you get your host up is obviously take a look, make sure everything's kind of showing up good, looks good. We need to do updates. We can't do main updates because the subscription enterprise repos are attached. So we have to turn those off. And we have to add the no subscription. And it's going to say, hey, you don't have any. You can't do patches without fantastic subscriptions. So we're going to do that for Ceph, and we're going to do that for enterprise. We're going to say, give us the no subscriptions, and then we're going to hop over here. Apt update, bang, bang, apt upgrade. That's going to go out. It's going to talk to the internet. As you can see, it's working for me already because my networking is configured. And there's going to be a ton of packages. So we're going to let that go. And then while that's going, we can kind of let that go in the shell. I can show you what a single host looks like. It has the same kind of summary screen as the data center. You can put in notes about each host here. And then you have local networking config. So for those of you who are familiar with ESXi, this would be configuring the networking per host, much like we used to do back in the day before DV switches. You would do that here. And as you can see, it created a Linux bridge for our single management device. And of course, if you were doing 2, you would make a bond. You would select which devices go in that bond. You would change this to a bond. You would say, maybe this is VLAN aware if they're trunk ports. Maybe it's still not VLAN aware if they're not trunk ports. And you would go through that. And of course, you can do certificates. I'm fine with self-signed because it's all local anyway. Configure more DNS here. This is where this is your hosts file essentially. Here's some more options. This is, again, we're doing the updates. So we went in here. We ran updates through the shell instead of doing it here, but you have a graphical quote unquote interface to do that. Firewall for this host. Disks. Now here are our hard drives. Now, if you remember, I installed on 1. The rest of these are technically no good. We're going to go ahead and wipe them. Those are going to get cleared out. This is from the previous install, so we're going to clean these out real quick so that we have blank disks to work with for other stuff. Now I could spin up LVMs. I could do LVM thins that auto grow. I could do a ZFS portion. I think I'm going to do Ceph, even though I don't really think I have the networking for it, just to kind of show that off. But now we've got drives that are wiped and ready to go. If my hardware was more compliant, I would have this smart information and how much wear out I'm doing to these drives, and that would be cool. Ceph, this is where the Ceph area is. I'm not going to install that right now. Monitor, this is all for Ceph, every bit of this. Replication again. Task history, so you can see what you've been working on. And then, hey, here's your fake key. Here's where you put your real key if you get a subscription. Subscriptions are cheap. Highly recommend it. And that's it. That is the basic dashboard for Proxmox. Looks a lot like ESXi, so a lot of people are going to feel pretty comfortable with it. I really love that this is here and that I can keep a track of updates that way. We have some upgrades in here. Let's hit refresh here. Let's see if there's anything. Yeah. This is going to go through, double check and see what I've been working on. It looks like it's updating the package database. Task done. We can close this. Do we still have updates? It looks like we do still have some updates. So let's see if we can. Let's stay here and see if there's any more. Oh yeah. So it didn't finish because we left. That's on me. But anyway, that's the dashboard. I'm going to patch this up and we'll see you in the next video.